Expectations. It's the Red Sox and Phillies, sponsored by Chevrolet. Let's send you out to Joe Buck.
The Phillies came into the season looking for a 6th consecutive NL East title, while the Red Sox had a new manager and lofty expectations. Well, both teams stumbled out of the gate, but they've turned it around, and now they're two of the hottest teams in baseball. It's the Red Sox and Phillies coming up next. If you woke up this morning and something felt a little different, you didn't know why, it's because tonight is baseball night in America. And here are some of the big stars on display in Philadelphia. Whether it's Big Papi or Gonzalez or Victorino or Ruiz, we get ready for baseball on a Saturday night. The Red Sox and the Phillies. And now welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck. That is Tim McCarver. Ken Rosenthal is coming up a bit later on. First of all, it's good to be with you on a Saturday night.
Yes, it is.
Secondly, we talk about the Phillies. Now, they've won 6 straight. They're trying to get by without a lot of thunder in their lineup with Utley and Ryan Howard on the disabled list, and they have to do that how?
Well, because of that, more than any other National League team, in my opinion, the Phillies depend on their starting staff. With Joe Blanton going tonight, you know the big three. Blanton's the 4th starter for the Phillies, and he's the guy that can go deep into the game. He's done it for the last 7 starts.
Meanwhile, you've got an American League team here in a National League city, so there's no DH, and every year the debate comes around who is more affected. You would have to believe it would be an AL team because of the shuffling that has to go on in a lineup.
I don't think there's any question about it. I think the AL teams are penalized more than the National League teams, and tonight's a great example. First baseman, normally, Adrian Gonzalez, he moves to right field tonight. David Ortiz set out last night's game, and it's his first start at first base since last July.
So there is something to deal with for the Boston Red Sox, who lost here last night. Really, if you look back to last night, it was a hotbed of action around these parts as the Sixers tied their series at 2-2 with the Celtics. And then the Philadelphia Phillies took care of the Boston Red Sox and won by a couple. Who gets it tonight? Phillies, Red Sox, coming up next. And for the Philadelphia Phillies, he takes the mound, and we get set for baseball here on a beautiful night. It's in the 70s, a nice breeze through the park, and the opening pitch will be brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some Buds. You look at the stats for Joe Blanton, the big right-hander, 6'3", 235 pounds. He's only 31. He's 4-3, but he has been an innings eater so far this season for the Phillies.
And a successful innings eater at that. His elbow is fine. It's a progression, the scouting report tonight. The elbow is fine. That allows him to extend more.
Yes.
And the result is that he's pitching better because his elbow doesn't hurt.
From A to B to C. Here's the Red Sox lineup brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Mike Aviles leads it off. The shortstop had a very good year. Then it's Pedroia, David Ortiz at first. Adrian Gonzalez is in right. Will Middlebrooks is the rookie third baseman. Saltalamacchia, stitches and all from being hit by a ricochet baseball last night, is batting in the 6th spot. And Ryan Sweeney, Daniel Nava, who's been hitting well, and John Lester is pitching and batting 9th. We get set to go on a Saturday night, and just to give you the records, the Red Sox are 3 under 500. They're 7.5 out behind.
He's had.
There's no doubt. You see the velocities up. We didn't see that. He's probably, as you noted in our meeting with Charlie Emanuel, in the best shape of his career.
Yep.
At least since he's come to Philadelphia. And for a guy that they were seemingly shopping in spring training, he gives up a fly ball into deep left and gone. Aviles has a home run, and that's the way tonight's game begins as Mike gets home run number 7. He had one last night, and the Red Sox strike first tonight. And a wry smile on the face of Bobby Valentine as Boston jumps on top.
Now, Bobby Valentine had a wry smile in spring training when he named Mike Aviles as shortstop. And with that home run, he is now tied with 25 RBIs for the most RBIs in the major leagues by shortstops.
Yeah, say that again, because this is a guy that they said, well, he is more bat than field. He's never really had a legitimate everyday chance at the big league level. And for a guy who came to Boston last July from the Royals, he's been phenomenal here in 2012. Here is a fly ball foul down the right field line off the bat of Pedroia, strike 2.
Mike Aviles has said that he loves proving people wrong, and he continues to do it.
So now 7 home runs, and as Tim said, he has 25 RBIs. Now he's trying to fill that leadoff role for the Boston Red Sox. They don't have Ellsbury. He's trying to work his way back into game shape and get that shoulder healthy. That one's inside, ball 1 to Dustin Pedroia. For Blanton, that is the 3rd home run he's allowed this season. Here's a 1-2. This is a foul to keep it at 1-2. So it's Pedroia now, Ortiz to follow, and then Adrian Gonzalez against the right-hander Blanton.
Since Dustin Pedroia came into the American League and joined the Red Sox, he has been the best 2-strike hitter in baseball.
Reaches for that one and grounds to Rollins, who has to show off the arm, 1 out. And we'll give you the Ford Go Further keys to the game.
For the Red Sox, can the Sox get by with tonight's defense with Gonzalez in right field, David Ortiz at first? And innings out of Blanton, a bad start, but Blanton, as we said, has been pitching very, very well.
David Ortiz digs his way in. He gets the start at first base, his first start there since last July. He's got 50 hits already this season. That's tied for 4th most in the AL, and he's hitting .342. 1 out, nobody on, a run in, and a ball outside to Ortiz. Get that 3-4 combo of Ortiz and Gonzalez, and that's the offensive season David has had so far, with a lot of room to the left of the third baseman Wigginton, who now moves a little more to his left and is in just about the normal shortstop spot.
That's interesting because David Ortiz, in situation employed by Tampa Bay, laid down a bunt earlier in the week.
He breaks his bat and dumps one into center field, and Ortiz has his 51st hit of the season. So he trades a bat for a hit, and here's the defense for Philadelphia. John Mabry is out in left with Victorino in center. Hunter Pence is in right. Wigginton, Rollins, Galvis is the second baseman, and really becoming more and more impressive every day. Hector Luna gets the start at first against the left-hander Lester, and with Ruiz putting together what looks to be the start of a career year behind the plate, Blanton has to work with 1 on 1 out to Adrian Gonzalez. Gonzalez went deep last night. It was his first home run since the 17th of April. He takes a strike. 110 at bats without a home run, but he's happy to see Blanton on the mound. 7 out of 16 when he's faced the Philadelphia right-hander. I think he might have changed up in that strike 2.
Talked to Joe Blanton yesterday. He said he does not throw a 4-seam fastball. Cutters and 2-seamers. The 2-seamer will go away from the left-handed batter. Like that.
And that was too far away for ball 1. On deck is the number 5 man, the rookie Will Middlebrooks. Here's a 1-2. A strikeout for out number 2. Gonzalez went after it up, came up empty, and that's the first strikeout of the night for Joe Blanton.
That looked like a cut fastball that he was trying to get it in on Gonzalez. He got it up, and that was good enough.
And now Middlebrooks, who could not have started out any better, homered in his first at bat when he was called up when Youkilis went on the DL with a back strain. Youkilis is coming back at the beginning of next week, and so there will be a decision to be made regarding Middlebrooks, who is just 7 for his last 39. After starting out red hot, now he's 7 of his last 40, and that ends the inning. A home run started it by Mike Aviles. His 2nd of this series, his 7th of the season. There's number 6 last night. And then tonight, different jersey color on, and the road grays, and the Red Sox strike first here in Philly. is their Taco Bell starting lineup. Taco Bell, sometimes you got to live Moss. Jimmy Rollins leads it off. Then it's John Mayberry, Shane Victorino. Hunter Pence is the cleanup man. Carlos Ruiz has been phenomenal. Ty Wigginton at third. Hector Luna gets the start at first base. Freddie Galvis at second. And Joe Blanton pitching and batting ninth for manager Charlie Manuel. Here's a look at one of the real power left-handers in the game, John Lester.
One of the premier pitchers in either league. Dominant in Philadelphia. 1 earned run in 21 innings in 3 starts. All of his starts as a Red Sox pitcher against the Phillies here at Citizens Bank Park.
So it's Rollins, Mayberry, and Victorino. Jimmy Rollins, who is hitting just .228, has a count of 2-0. Good matchup for the finale tomorrow with Beckett and Lee. Beckett coming off a good start. Lee's been good all year, but doesn't have a win. ERA under 2. Here's a 2-0 pitch. There's a strike, 2-1.
A lot of people have compared Cliff Lee with John Lester. And it's a good comparison when you think about it. Good cutters, good control.
Here's a fly ball into left, and that will carry for the out to Daniel Nava. 1 out, and now you get a chance to do a little more on John Lester.
Well, as we said, dominant in Philadelphia. There's that 1 earned run in 21 innings. And off an exceptional start. He started the year a little shaky, but his last start last Monday at Fenway, he beat the Seattle Mariners 6-1. So he seems to have it together right now.
Now dealing with Mayberry, who digs in, hitting .237. And that hits the inside corner. This Philly team as a group hitting .263. That's good for 5th best in the National League. But again, a team playing without Chase Utley, one of the best hitters in the National League, and then Ryan Howard, a former MVP and their big first baseman. Here's a floater that is out of the hand of Lester. Should be an error, and Mayberry is on with 1 out here in the first.
10th error of his career. Kind of lollipops it to David Ortiz, and it is a throwing error by John Lester. You know, you see a lot of that with pitchers. I mean, we saw 11 years ago in the World Series, Mariano Rivera losing Game 7 when he had a wild throw to second base. But a lot of pitchers are like that because most of the pitches that they throw somewhere are moving. He just didn't have a grip on that ball, however.
And it's 1 on 1 out for Victorino. He turned around and was all of a sudden looking at David Ortiz at first base and not Adrian Gonzalez, and threw a lobber over there and pulled Ortiz off the bag as Victorino fouls the first one out of play, strike 1. Here's the defense, and something Tim talked about a bit earlier on, and that is, can the Red Sox get by with the defense they have to employ here in a National League city with Ortiz at first and Gonzalez in right. Saltalamacchia, good to see him back after taking a ball off his left ear and getting stitches last night. Here's a pop-up out behind the second base bag, and Aviles goes out there for out number 2.
The one thing Charlie Manuel has told his lineup tonight is if you're on first base and any fly ball base hit to the right side, try to get to third. Extend. Make Adrian Gonzalez throw you out, because he does not have a right fielder's arm. He has a first baseman's arm, so it makes a lot of sense.
And out there in right, because he doesn't own his own, he's renting the glove of Carl Crawford. 1 on with 2 out. Here is Hunter Pence, who homered last night, and the home run ball's been flying out off his bat. He's tied for 4th in the league with 10, hitting .261. Takes the ball. See, he's been hot of late, and a guy that was picked up last year from Houston for a team that eventually won 102 games in the 5th straight divisional title for Philadelphia. Somehow Saltalamacchia blocked that one 2-0. Here it is last night, his home run over the wall and left. His 10th of the year.
The one thing Hunter Pence has not seen a lot of this year, 2-0 counts or 3-1 counts. He rarely gives a pitcher a chance to get that far. A notorious bad ball hitter.
Here comes a 2-0 from Lester. Over but low, ball 3. Talked to Charlie Manuel, the Phillies manager, and one of the real good hitting instructors in the history of this game. And
really?
He said, I told Hunter a while ago, you know what, you could be a little bit more selective at the plate. And he went 0 for 3 that night.
3 strikeouts.
3 strikeouts. And he said, forget what I told you. Just go up there and swing.
Right.
Here's a 3-0. 3-1. Manuel saying he's not exactly like Vladimir Guerrero, who's notorious for hitting balls that bounce to the plate or up around his chin, but he's close. He's that type hitter. And he can swing with a pull swing and the ball shoot off his bat into right. Could hit it anywhere. Because of that, they're straight away in the outfield. 3-1 pitch from Lester is just inside. 2 on, 2 out. And we'll go for a DirecTV game break. Here's Matt.
You scare me when you take the game out of my ear, though. I didn't know if... Guys, Orioles and Nationals. The Orioles start play 12 games over 500 for the first time since June of 05. J.J. Hardy trying to score. Not so, says Ryan Zimmerman. Another great look. Hey, if you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
That was a little peek behind the curtain. We heard Matt not knowing that he was on there for a second. That's the kind of things you should expect on
live TV
and on Baseball Night America. I heard you, Matt. Here's a ground ball to the shortstop. Couple of bounces to Aviles, who is homered tonight. Carlos Ruiz is out. We've played one in Philadelphia. 1-0. Red by the makers of One A Day Men's, the official multivitamin of MLB. Weather could not be any better. And as we move into the second inning with the Red Sox coming up, Saltalamacchia, Sweeney, and Nava against the right-hander Blanton. We're going to get a report from Ken Rosenthal, who is with us tonight. As Saltalamacchia takes strike one.
The respect level for Jared Saltalamacchia went straight up playing in this game tonight with 12 stitches in his left ear because of what happened last night with Ty Wigginton at the plate. It hit Wigginton and then hit behind the mask of Jared Saltalamacchia. His left ear required 12 stitches in the day of a one-year contract. You could understand him playing tonight, but in days of multi-year contracts, that shows me something, him getting back there tonight.
And he fouls it back to the screen, and the count still 1-2. You can see that pine tar on the left shoulder of Saltalamacchia's jersey. When he's rubbing that bat against his shoulder, it's pulling his jersey up. And the count 1-2. Foul tip that comes up and catches the home plate umpire, Gary Darling, who last night ejected Bobby Valentine, the manager of the Red Sox, his first ejection as manager of the Red Sox, and in the process lost his gum while arguing with Valentine, and that gum found its way onto the person of Bobby Valentine, who pointed at him and said, "I'll remember that," and then made his way into the clubhouse, searched for fake eyebrows and glasses, but did not find them, and therefore did not return to the bench. It was late in the proceedings. Here's a 1-2. That's low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Red Sox have been playing better of late, no doubt. They've won 6 of 8. And that coincided with a little action in the clubhouse that we'll hear about from Ken Rosenthal in just a moment, as Saltalamacchia is up there battling, trying to work his way on against Blanton to start the second. 2-2 the count. And that's what they've done, along with getting great bullpen work for Bobby Valentine. Here's a foul backing out of play. The rotation's been much better as well. And they've got their top guy going tonight in John Lester, and it's a matchup, Tim, that you and I talked about before tonight's game that really favors Boston.
Oh, I don't think there's any question about it. Particularly with his success here in this ballpark.
Here's a shot into right at Pence, and on one hop, it's a leadoff base hit. And as we celebrate Military Appreciation Month around this country, Ken Rosenthal is with us, and you learned, Kenny, about a little team meeting at the start of this streak of better baseball.
I did, Joe. I'm here with 4 members of the Air Force Reserve, and you're right, it is Military Appreciation Month. Tonight's bow tie for the U.S. Marines. Now, about that meeting, took place about a week ago. There was a Thursday night. Red Sox got rocked by Cleveland. That was the night Beckett allowed 7 runs in 2 1/3 innings. The next day, before the second game of the series, David Ortiz called a players-only meeting, a meeting that grew heated, according to one player. Now, the hitters challenged the pitchers to step up. The overall theme was taking responsibility, and the meeting seemed to clear the air. The Red Sox proceeded to win 5 straight.
Yeah, and 6 of 8 overall. Kenny, you, I would imagine, feel rather well protected down there in the end of the dugout.
Yes, I do, Joe. And in Philly, it's always a good idea.
Here's a 1-1 pitch, up and away, 2 balls and a strike.
Well insulated. The one good thing about that meeting was that it was before the game. When managers or players-only meetings are after the game, I don't think they do any good.
Here's a runner going. That was Saltalamacchia, and that's fouled out of play. 2-1 count, and Valentine tried to get a little action going on the bases, but a foul ball, 2-2.
I think when managers have meetings after a game, it's to satisfy the manager. If you have a meeting before the game, you've thought about it, and you come back, and to me, they do the most good, the meetings before the game.
Here's a 2-2. Line drive into the gap in left center field. This ball's going to get down. Played on a hop by Mayberry, and his throw back into second too late. It's a double by Sweeney after a single by Saltalamacchia, second and third with nobody out. And Blanton, who has been so good, gives up this opposite field double to Ryan Sweeney to set up a great opportunity for the Red Sox here in the second.
Ryan Sweeney has 15 extra base hits and 14 doubles. That's his slot in left center field.
And it's not a stretch to say that he was more in the category of a throw-in that deal when the Red Sox made the trade with Oakland to get Andrew Bailey, their closer.
That's right.
And now here's somebody who's in the top 10 in hitting in the American League and playing center field because of all the injuries in the outfield for Boston. Batter is Daniel Nava. Second and third, nobody out. And the pitch is up for ball one. Kenny was kidding, by the way, about being well protected in Philadelphia. So don't blow up his Twitter. He's looking right now at his Twitter account. That smile on his face. Here comes a 1-0. On the outside corner, a ball and a strike. Nava's been great. And a guy who made his debut, and it's been certainly well talked about, against this pitcher, Joe Blanton, and hit a grand slam at Fenway Park in 2010 on the first pitch he saw in the big leagues. And then his career with the Red Sox got to the point where they designated him for assignment, didn't even invite him to spring training this year, and be out of necessity after a good start to the season at AAA. He's been called up and he's making the most out of it. That pitch was just outside, according to Gary Darling, and the count goes to 2-1.
Played baseball in high school. Did not play baseball his first 2 years at Santa Clara. He was the equipment manager. Then he went to a junior college, started his baseball career again, and here he is once again in the big leagues.
That's foul, and the count 2-2. And of all the guys you could run into in a major league clubhouse, he is one of the more enjoyable guys to talk to, and is enjoying every minute of life in the big leagues. I asked him if he ever asked to get a different number on his back, and he said, no, you don't really get to make those requests around here. I'll just stick with 66. Here's a 2-2. Ground ball right side, and that's played by Galvis, the out, and now dropped by Blanton. Everybody's safe. A run scores to make it 2-0. Blanton was there and just could not make the catch. First and third, nobody out.
Charlie Manuel saying about Galvis that he is always in the right place. That is a terrific sliding catch on the ground ball. His throw was perfect, and Blanton dropped it. It's got to be an error on Joe Blanton. It is. I think he was trying to find the bag and the ball at the same time.
In and out of the glove. It's an RBI for Nava. It's an error on Blanton. So now each pitcher has an error, and John Lester is to the plate. Runners at the corners, nobody out. And if the Red Sox want to play it straight, try to get a bunt down and get the runner to second base.
Got to do that. Got to try to do that.
That's up to Lester. Missing it, trying to bunt it, strike one. It's Jerry Royster, third base coach for Bobby Valentine, whose Red Sox are on top 2-0 here in Philadelphia and have a chance for more. That's strike two.
That's a surprise. You know, if you're a runner on at third base right now and you see the third baseman right next to you, if the bunt is down the third base line, you follow the third baseman in. If he throws to first, you score. You can walk home. There aren't many plays in baseball where there are no drawbacks. But that's one.
The 1-2 pitch is grounded to the right side. The run comes to the plate on a double play ball to make it 3-0. So no RBI, but Lester produces the run, and it's 3-0 Boston here in the second with the bases empty, 2 out. Sweeney, who doubled in the inning, comes around to score. And Aviles, who homered his first time up, digs in. That's down toward the end of the bat and into the corner, foul for strike one. So it was interesting to watch that at bat by Lester.
It was. I was thinking the same thing.
He squared around the first time, didn't look good trying to bunt it, and then the Red Sox abandoned the bunt.
Bobby Valentine giving him the hit away sign for a guy who's never had a major league hit. 0 for 20 with 12 strikeouts. And he hit into a double play, but they did plate the run.
Counts 0-2 on Aviles. Just outside on a fastball, 92 miles per hour, ball one.
Ruiz sitting off the plate, and that's where the pitch was.
Will that stay in play for Hunter Pence? He is bothered by the fan and still makes the catch down the right field line to end the inning. There's the catch. 2 runs in the frame for the Red Sox. It's baseball night in America in this great American city, Philadelphia. And the Red Sox lead 3-0. Bottom of the second inning, Phillies bat. Wigginton, Luna, Galvis coming up. If anybody gets on, Joe Blanton against the left-hander John Lester. 3-0 Boston out in front. And a strike is into Wigginton, who's hitting .253. 2 homers, 13 RBIs. Here's an 0-1. Fly ball into right. Down the line, and it's Gonzalez who has to backpedal a bit and make the play 1 out. So the Gold Glove Award winner in the past at first, Adrian Gonzalez in right, is there for the grab. And when we talked to Bobby Valentine about it, he's talking about that ball cutting. He said he's going to not misjudge fly balls. I don't know what his range is going to be, but if he can get there, he's going to make the play.
Yeah, and Adrian took fly balls last week in right field. So it's not like the first time. A little smile right there. But Bobby hoping that a ball that goes in the air toward Gonzalez has enough hang time to allow him to get under it. He is not a fast runner at all. That doesn't come into play, of course, at first, but it does in right field.
First pitch is a ball to Hector Luna, who hit a grand slam off the bench the other night in Chicago at Wrigley Field. He's 2 for 7 with that 1 home run and the 4 RBIs. Former Cardinal in the count 2-0. Cardinals carried him around one season as a Rule 5 draft player, and he has worked his way back to the big leagues. Chops one left side. Middlebrooks makes the play 2 out. We go to Matt Vasgersian for a DirecTV game break.
Joe, Diamondbacks and Royals. Kansas City's lost 3 straight at home, but here's a step in the right direction. Ryan Roberts, a fly ball for Jarrett Dyson. Jason Kubel will tag up and try to score. No dice as Jason Kubel is thrown out from center field. You want to get, you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV, Joe. Call 1-800-DIRECTV. We fixed the curtain here, by the way.
Good. Good. No more peeks in behind. Good job, Matt. Way to go. And you saw that highlight from Kansas City. We'll be there in July for the 2012 Major League Baseball All-Star Game.
Second Tuesday in July, as always.
And the first one there since 1973. The National League leads the all-time series, but that game has been a series of streaks. Going to be a tough play for Lester and a nice play for John Lester in a perfect second after getting around an error and a walk in the first. 3-0 Boston after 2. Back to Philly after a word from your local Fox station. Relay as we go into the third inning. And for the Red Sox, it's Pedroia, then Ortiz, then Adrian Gonzalez. 3-0 Boston, and a strike hits the inside corner from the right-hander Joe Blanton. Want to give a big hello and a shout out to our good friend Tony Prouty, who is watching in Moraga, California, and inspiring people every day. Big fan of baseball on Fox. Here's a foul ball, long run. Luna can't get there. And with one hop into the seats, the count's 0-2. And tell us more about the pitching of Joe Blanton.
Well, Joe Blanton told us yesterday that his elbow was hurting, and when it was hurting, he was forced to release the ball right here. Since his elbow's not hurting anymore, he can release the ball out here. That's about 1.5 feet. Pitcher's 60 feet 6 inches away. You give him another 1.5 feet. Have him extend. You've heard that about pitchers who love to extend like that. They keep the ball down. Pedroia is gone as a result of that.
And strikeout number 2 of the night for the right-hander Blanton, who is proving every time out. Now he's down tonight 3-0 to Boston, that it was a good thing the Phillies kept him, if indeed they were shopping him during spring training. He's coming off a year where that elbow bothered him. Last year just got into 11 games. That's it. After he had an oblique strain in 2010. Last year it was the elbow, and that breaking ball misses. And I think Blanton right now is a little frustrated, feeling like he's getting squeezed by the home plate umpire, Gary Darling.
Yeah, but back to your point about the oblique strain, that's another thing that keeps pitchers from extending and trying to throw the ball out in front, which pitching coaches look for in pitchers. And, of course, the starters for the Phillies, all examples of that.
Counts 2-0 on Ortiz. And a veteran umpire, heck, any umpire, is an expert at reading body language. There's a good changeup. And so even though Blanton's not saying anything, Gary Darling knows that Blanton right now is frustrated as you look at the delivery of the Philly right-handed.
Finishing his pitches.
And count 2-1 on Ortiz, who dumped a single into center his first time up. Gonzalez on deck, and a big swing and a miss by Ortiz, and it's 2-2. He's played only 39 games, Ortiz, in the field over the last 8 seasons. He has been the DH and one of the better DHs despite the slow starts in 2009, 2010. Here's a ground ball to the right side, and the play for the out to get Ortiz by Galvis, who was tucked into shallow right field, 2 out.
Talked about the wherewithal of Freddie Galvis. He knew he had to throw the ball hard because it's deep at first, and it looked like David Ortiz tripped over perhaps the foot of Hector Luna. No, it was the bag. Or did he make contact with his knee? I think it was his knee, since Luna had to go down for that throw by Galvis, and his knee was over the bag, and Ortiz tripped over it.
Here's a ball to Gonzalez. You could see on that last look that Galvis had almost a changeup grip on that ball when he dug it out of his glove, and that's why that throw came in a little differently than Luna expected it. He has those three fingers on the ball, heck, almost all 4, like a palm ball, throwing it to first.
Watch Luna get down, the knee's still over the bag, and Ortiz trips over his right knee.
Count 2-1 on Adrian Gonzalez, who struck out his first time. It's like a softball play over on the right side with Galvis in shallow right. And the count now 2-1 on Gonzalez. Now 2-2.
That's when that ring finger becomes involved in a throw, and ring fingers are for rings, not throwing a baseball.
This has kind of been the year of the defensive shift, although Ortiz has seen that a lot in his career. But even with right-handed batters and a guy like Joe Madden, that
he pioneered it.
Yeah, he's been the guy to really employ more shifts than any manager in the game, and that's really been popular and is seen more and more now around the game. Counts 3-2 on Gonzalez, who is 7 of 17 in his career against Joe Blanton. Still full.
I think the first shift in baseball history was probably against Ted Williams, employed by Lou Boudreau, who was the playing manager for the Cleveland Indians. And Ty Cobb met Ted Williams at the Commodore Hotel in New York and told him to go the other way. Williams tried it, and he said, nah, I think I'll just hit it through him. And he did. Ted Williams told me that story in 1986 at Winter Haven, Florida.
Wow.
That's where the Red Sox trained for years.
Here is another 3-2 from Blanton, and another foul ball off the bat of Gonzalez. That's us. It is almost straight up, 8 o'clock in the East, and this is Baseball Night in America, and this is the 3rd inning. 77-degree night in Philadelphia. Pete Macheska, our producer, Bill Webb, our director. Glad you're with us. 3-2 pitch is strike 3. And strikeout number 2 of the inning, and 3 on the night for Blanton, who is trying to settle in. Bottom of the 3rd rolls in. Phillies coming up down 3-0 here in Pennsylvania. Three 0 Boston into the bottom of the third inning. Blanton is first up for Philadelphia, and he takes a pitch down and in, ball one. So with all the injuries we talk about with regard to Philadelphia, the Red Sox, no team is more banged up than the Boston Red Sox here in 2012. And they've got roughly $77 million on the disabled list right now, and a team that is trying to tread water until they get some of their big players back. That's on the inside corner to Blanton, who is 1 for 12. Swinging the bat, he's saying, I'm not getting those on the mound, and now I'm getting them called against me. Here's a 1-2. Little check swing ground ball to the right side. Saw Ruben Amaro, who is the general manager of the Phillies. Well, the Red Sox have their hands full with these names and these players on the disabled list. I mean, these are big-time names, and slowly but surely, you could say, with the exception of Lackey, they could have that entire list back by the middle part of July.
Lackey, Tommy John surgery, he'll be back next year. Dice K, I'm not too sure about Matsusaka. He might be a little further out. But the other guys, if they get Euclid back and Ellsbury, such a key to this offense and their defense.
I don't know if people around the country, I know Red Sox fans do, realize the kind of year that Jacoby Ellsbury had last year. Hitting .321, 32 home runs, 39 steals, 105 RBI, scored 119 runs. And in the home opener had a subluxation of his right shoulder. As Rollins grounds out to the left side, play made by Middlebrooks, 2 out. They had to put Ellsbury on the 60-day DL. That means that even if he could be activated before June 13th, and that's not a possibility, doesn't appear at this point, he couldn't be activated before the middle part of June. But they hope to get Euclid back at the beginning of next week. In that 30-day rehab window, they have Matsuzaka ready to make one more rehab start on Tuesday. And that 30-day timetable is up, and they'll have to make some sort of decision there. There's a strike to Mayberry. Crawford was out with the bad wrist, and that went up into his elbow. He got an injection in that elbow, and now he may get back into ramping up his baseball duties next week. But again, it's going to be a while for him to get back into shape.
To get his glove back.
And get his glove back,
yeah,
which right now is on the right hand of Adrian Gonzalez in right. Here's a 1-1. 2-1.
Jacoby Ellsbury, by the way, runner-up as the MVP in the American League last year. Runner-up to whom? Justin Verlander, who threw an 8 1/3 inning no-hitter last night against Pittsburgh.
Yep, lost it with 1 out in the 9th inning. Would have been his 3rd. Here's a 2-1. Ripped into left field. That ball was shot off the bat of Mayberry, and it's 1 on, 2 out. Lester gives up his first hit of the night.
By far the best hit ball by the Phillies in the 2 2/3 innings that Lester has worked. Middle of the plate. That happens with big league hitters.
And that keeps the inning alive for Shane Victorino, who popped up his first time and hitting just .239. So they've got Victorino at .239. Rollins, the leadoff hitters, at .228 at the start of the night. 0 for 2 tonight. Pence's average is in the 260s, although the home run production's been there. The one bright spot, and I mean bright, is their catcher Carlos Ruiz.
He's been the best catcher in baseball for the first 7 weeks of the season.
And is marching his way toward his first All-Star game. He does it at the plate, behind the plate, and he should represent the Phillies for the National League if he keeps any semblance of this pace up leading into July. There are his numbers among catchers this season where he ranks swinging the bat, and that doesn't even take into consideration how he receives pitching and what he does behind the plate.
Usually, if a catcher has an offensive streak of 2 months or 2.5 months, it's at the beginning of the season, not at the end of the season. They're too tired. Catch 140 games and try to keep a batting average up at 300s. Very difficult.
Pitch down and away, 2 balls and a strike on Victorino with Hunter Pence on deck. Victorino's hit 5 home runs, driven in 16. That ball is hit well into left. It's over the head of Nava, and it's off the top of the wall. Mayberry will come all the way around from first to score, and it's 3-1 on a 2-out RBI double by Shane Victorino.
That is excellent coaching by Juan Samuel, the third base coach of the Phillies. He waited and waited and waited, and when he saw Nava drop the ball on that final stab, that's when he sent Mayberry. Almost a home run. Wow. Almost a home run for Shane Victorino.
Came within a foot, maybe a foot and a half of getting it over that front screen, and now with a runner at second, 2 out, the batter is Pence, and the tying run is at the plate. That is down and in, ball 1.
Just above the fence, but not above the gate. Or the top part of the fence, that cyclone fence.
And there is separation between that front level and where you can see the fan reaching over in the background. Here's one off the end of the bat down the right field line. Gonzalez is to the line and makes a sliding catch.
How about that play?
Gold Glove first baseman using Carl Crawford's glove makes a sliding catch to end the inning.
This is a big league play right here.
Wow. 3-1. Youth baseball in cities and towns across the country, and sponsored by Olympic Maximum Stain and Sealant in One. As we move into the fourth inning, it's a 3-1 game. Great catch by Gonzalez down the right field line to end the third. And now it's Middlebrooks to lead it off. Takes a breaking ball for a strike after taking a ball, and it's 1-1. Saltalamacchia, Sweeney, the next two hitters, and Adrian Gonzalez made it look easy down the right field line. That ball is shot into the gap in right center field at the wall, and it's gone. Middlebrooks, the rookie, has hit home run number 5. And the Red Sox get that run right back. And Will Middlebrooks just showed a lot of power the opposite way into the gap in right center field. It's 4-1.
How about that poke to right center? Usually if major league hitters hit the ball out the other way, they use their arms. It takes tremendous strength to go the other way with power. That's impressive right there.
He hit in 9 of his first 10 starts, hit 4 home runs over his first 10 games. In April at AAA Pawtucket, hit .333 with 9 home runs. And with Kevin Youkilis working his way back, playing at AAA in his rehabilitation assignment, he will join this team in Baltimore at the beginning of the week. I know he's cooled down of late, as Saltalamacchia comes up empty there, and the count goes to 2-1. But it's going to be hard to either sit this guy down or send him down when Youkilis comes back. Here's a 2-1 and a high fly ball into right. Hence is back at the wall, and this one's long gone. Home run Saltalamacchia back to back, and the Red Sox have their biggest lead of the night. Five to 1 here in the fourth inning.
Stay right there. First home run number 5 for Middlebrooks. Home run number 6 for Saltalamacchia. It's a pretty strong 2 for 2 with that lacerated ear that he had last night. That's strong performance right there.
And now Ryan Sweeney. Nobody on or out, 2 runs are home, and that pitch is down and away, and the count goes to 2-0, and the Red Sox have figured out Blanton. They let it off with a home run by Aviles in the first inning. They got 2 runs in the second, and now 2 home runs here in the fourth. Left-hander Valdez, Raul Valdez, is getting ready for Philadelphia in their pen, as a slow roller is played by Blanton, and now he drops it. And there isn't much going right for Joe Blanton so far this evening. He's already made 1 error, and now his second of the night.
It's not only not going well for his pitching, but his fielding either. Easy play to get Sweeney, and he bobbles it. The other on that throw from Galvis when he dropped the ball trying to find first base. So 2 errors in a error-filled game by the Phillies.
It'll bring in Daniel Nava. And as we play here in the 4th inning, this will be the 75th pitch of the night already for the right-hander Blanton, with Valdez getting loose. And the frustration mounting for the 31-year-old right-hander Blanton. A check on the runner Sweeney. Nobody out in the inning. Blanton brings it, and a strike to Nava. Here's an 0-1. Off the hands, back and out of play, 0-2. Lester on deck, and the left-hander coming off that complete game win over Seattle on Monday. A final of 6-1 has a 5-1 lead here tonight. Here comes an 0-2. Ball 1. Charlie Manuel with more wins than any Philadelphia manager in their franchise history. Passed Gene Mauch last year on the final day of the season. Strikeout is out number 1 in the inning, and we'll give you a game break. MLB Network Studios, here's Matt Vasgersian.
Joe, Tim, Rangers and Astros top of the 3rd after an error by former Boston infielder Jed Lowry kept the inning alive. David Murphy with runners aboard. 2 center fielders out there, Justin Maxwell, Jordan Schaefer. They both tried to make a play. It gets by both of them inside the park. 3-run home run for Murphy. Schaefer was injured on the play. It's 4-1 Rangers in the 3rd.
All right, Matt, and for Texas, they have a 5-game lead in the AL West over Oakland, and the Angels, the team everybody talked about coming in, they are 7 out and 4 games under 500 at the start of the day. Again, Lester showed bunt on that first pitch, and now swings and misses at a breaking ball from Blanton. It's 0-2. The Angels, by the way, have been shut out 8 times this season. That's 3 more times than any other team, despite all that hitting.
Unbelievable.
Now back to the bunt with 2 strikes, and it's Ruiz who makes the play. Good bunt. Down to second is Sweeney, 2 out. So the Red Sox keeping the Phillies and everybody else guessing with their strategy with Lester, and he got it down after bouncing into a double play and producing a run his first time up. Runner at second, 2 out, and the batter will be Aviles.
There are 2 surprises in Southern California this year: the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim and the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are 6 games up in their division. And last year at this time, people were talking about whether Don Mattingly was going to make a good manager or not. Well, he's answered those questions.
Yeah, and to think of where that Dodger franchise has been as you see the AL West and where the Angels are sitting, 4 under 500, 7 out. You've got the Dodgers 5.5 up on San Francisco with new ownership and rolling. Here is Victorino drifting back on that ball hit by Aviles. Back-to-back home runs. Started the inning. Middlebrooks went deep into right center. How about the rookie? He's got 5. Followed by Saltalamacchia, way out batting left-handed, his 6th. It's 5-1. Down now by 4, 5-1 here in the 4th, and Lester back to the hills, strike 1. Ruiz, then Wigginton, then Luna. As that hits the outside corner, strike 2. The next from the Boston left-hander, down and in. They had a nice moment before tonight's game when Pat Burrell came back. And here for this Saturday to retire officially as a Philadelphia Philly. Here's a 1-2 pitch. That hit him. And down to first is Ruiz. Leadoff man is on a hit by pitch. You and I were sitting up here watching the celebration and the ceremony for Pat Burrell, and you just can't believe that his career has come and gone.
No, I know. Ruiz hit on the back foot, on his right foot, but that is so true. I mean, Pat Burrell, a winner of 2 World Series rings. One with the Phillies and one with the San Francisco Giants in 2010.
292 career home runs, good run producing middle of the order guy. And now when you talk to scouts around baseball, they are thoroughly impressed with the hard work that Pat Burrell is doing for the San Francisco Giants as a scout. And that's rare for a guy to jump right out. Last year was his last year in the big leagues, and here he is scouting, and he's impressed a lot of people in the baseball circles with his eye for talent and the way he is working this league as he threw out the ceremonial first pitch. You see the numbers with Philadelphia, where he ranks on their all-time list, and he got the handshake from Chase Utley, and it's good to see Chase taking ground balls as he was doing before tonight's game, taking batting practice. His next step is to go get into games. Slow chopper to Middlebrooks, who flips it over to first for the out to get Wigginton. One away. Down to second is Ruiz, with Luna coming up. Up above our aerial coverage is compliments of DirecTV. And having never been up in a blimp, I would imagine tonight would be ideal conditions to
forget about it.
Be in a blimp.
Just don't do it.
Don't do it.
No, don't do it. Don't worry about it, regardless of the weather.
You wouldn't do it?
No, I wouldn't.
Never heard you so adamant about something.
Well, I mean,
it didn't involve baseball. Here's Luna, who bounced out to third his first time up. Takes a strike from Lester.
You know, Joe, it was an emotional moment with Pat Burrell throwing out the first ball. Last night was an emotional moment when Bernie Perrant, the great goalie here in Philadelphia for the Philadelphia Flyers, threw out the first pitch. The goalie for the Broadway Bullies back in the middle 70s, winning 2 straight Stanley Cups. In fact, this is the 38th anniversary of the Bullies winning the Stanley Cup against the Boston Bruins in 1974.
1 ball, 1 strike. Lester ready with another, and strike 2. I think you said the Broadway Bullies.
A Broad Street Bullies.
Yeah.
That's right. You're right.
I know, it was just
Sid
you.
corrected.
Just misspeaking.
Yeah, the Broad Street Bullies.
You were in this area back at that time.
Yeah, right across the street. Knew Bernie know Bernie very well. Hadn't seen him in a long time. And last night, did the heart good. But just hugely popular in this city. To this day.
Runner at second, 1 out, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Hector Luna. In a 5-1 game, Red Sox on top as we play here in the 4th. And a high fly ball into left. Back at the wall. This one's off the wall. Ruiz will score, and Luna, after rounding first base wide, comes back to the bag. It's 5-2 on an RBI hit by Hector Luna.
I think Hector got caught up looking at that ball instead of running hard and getting to second base. You don't want to become a spectator. Let the umpires umpire, and you run. This ball scoots by Nava. Actually a good play. It didn't scoot by Nava. I think Hector, if he had it to do over again, he would have run harder out of the box.
He steadies at first with 1 out. And the batter is Freddie Galvis. On deck is Pete Orr, who would bat for Blanton. With the Red Sox up now by 3. There's a strike over the outside corner. Valdez, the left-hander, still getting loose. Here's an 0-1. Down and in. A ball and a strike. Blanton, if that's it for him tonight, goes 4. And allows 5 runs on 6 hits. 3 home runs. 4 strikeouts, no walks. Here's a 1-1 pitch. That's in the air to left center field. Back at the wall. It's gone. 2-run home run for Freddie Galvis. And just like that, it's a 1-run game here in Philadelphia.
The last person we talked about in our meeting with Charlie Manuel this afternoon was Freddie Galvis. And Charlie has those words ringing in our ears right now. He said, you'd be surprised with how much power this little guy has. Charlie scouted him in the instructional league when he was 17 years old. Well, now, as a 23-year-old, he's arrived.
getting a chance to play former shortstop in the minor leagues, playing second because of the injury to Utley, nursing those sore knees. And because that ball left the park, it gives Blanton a chance to stay in the game.
Yeah.
Galvis had not rounded the bases before Charlie Manuel got the attention of Pete Orr in the on-deck circle and said, come back. And Blanton gets to go back out for more work.
Yeah, I guess you've got to think that if it weren't a home run, even if it were a hit, that Orr would have been the hitter. But because the home run had scored 2 runs, the bases are cleared, and it's up to Blanton.
He's tied up on strike 2. So you get production out of the bottom of this lineup. Ruiz hit by a pitch, a 1-out RBI single after the ground out. The single came off the bat of Luna, and he scored on a home run by Galvis, the rookie second baseman. And that's out number 2. Galvis went deep last night. And now with Rollins, his double play partner, digging in. This is a 5-4 game in Philadelphia. Rollins is 0 for 2. He's fly to left. He's grounded out. A strike over the inside corner. Ken Rosenthal, what are some of the Philadelphia players saying about the young second baseman Freddie Galvis?
Well, Joe, they love him. And Jimmy Rollins told me yesterday that Galvis reminds him of Roberto Alomar, which is high praise considering that, as you said, Galvis was a shortstop his entire minor league career. But what Rollins is talking about is Galvis's instincts. Ruben Amaro, the GM, said the same type of thing. He said Galvis has more baseball sense than some of our guys who have been here 5, 6, 7 years.
Rollins is 0 for 3 as Lester gets his first strikeout, but the bottom part of the order does some damage. It was a home run from Galvis after the RBI hit by Luna. Joe Blanton gets a chance to go back out there. We'll deal with the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Red Sox. Pedroia, Ortiz, and Gonzalez. First pitch is A strike over the inside part, and now the next is a jam shot. Shallow center for a base hit for Pedroia. A guy who has hit .356 during interleague play, which is the second best overall average, is on with nobody out, 1 for 3 on the night, and David Ortiz walks in, getting a chance for the third time to play and try and hit into this shift. He grounded to Galvis, the second baseman, out in shallow right. His last time up, he's 1 for 2.
Fourth time in 5 innings the Red Sox have had their leadoff runner on base, or the leadoff batter on base.
A check on Pedroia, who has stolen 3, been caught twice.
Notice Ty Wigginton at third base is in his regular position instead of shifted towards shortstop. That's because of the possibility of an Ortiz bunt.
Instead, he shoots one into deep center field. Back at the wall. This thing is gone. Home run, David Ortiz. A 2-run shot, his 9th of the year. And Blanton, who got a chance to go back out there, is allowed to hit a home run, and the Red Sox lead 7-4 here in the 5th.
That ball was crushed. Right to the right of the 409 sign and almost straight away center field. Like a tailing fastball, it tailed over the plate instead of away, and Ortiz with home run number 9.
And the 4th home run hit tonight against Joe Blanton. Gonzalez was swinging for number 5, and he comes up empty, strike 1.
And coming into this game, Joe Blanton had given up 2 home runs in 51 2/3 innings.
And Big Papi, who gets a chance to play first base tonight, is smiling in the dugout, 2 for 3. And you see the Red Sox all-time list of home runs, and Ortiz has crept onto that graphic. Ted Williams in his 19 seasons, number 1 with 521. That's a strike. And they count 1-2 on Gonzalez. This guy was pronounced finished a couple of times. 3 years ago, 2 years ago. He's in the best shape now we've seen him since he's come to the Red Sox.
Yeah, you talked to him before game 1, that game in Detroit, and he was saying that he had to lose weight because of genetics, right? Cholesterol problem through the family.
Really, baseball was a secondary concern for him. It was a high cholesterol count, and something that his doctor got across to him that it needed to happen, him losing weight. And the count's still 1-2 on Adrian Gonzalez. But they get Ortiz's bat in the lineup by having him play first base. Gonzalez has made a nice catch in right. And Ortiz, with that bat, just shot one out to center. Down and away, 2-2, and Valdez is up again. He's only gone 4+ innings with the 4 home runs allowed by Blanton, the most in any start in his big league career. And again, he came into this game rolling. 7 starts, a 4-3 record. He pitched into the 7th and 5 of the 7 in each of the last 4. And it allowed 2 earned runs or less in 4 of the 7 starts, but not tonight. 7 runs on 8 hits. Here's a 2-2. Still 2-2. Gonzalez has struck out twice. And with a count 2-2, he fouls it back to the screen.
5 home runs hit in this ball game, 4 by the Red Sox, 1 by the Phillies. And the way the ball is shooting out of this ballpark tonight, I don't think Bobby Valentine's even thinking about a defensive replacement in the later innings for Gonzalez or Ortiz. Ball is really carrying tonight.
Here is 2-2 again, and a fly ball into center. Victorino comes in to grab it, 1 out. Chevrolet's helping to build the next generation of baseball memories. Here's our own Ken Rosenthal to tell you more.
As the official vehicle of Major League Baseball, Chevrolet is proud to be building the next generation of memories. Join Chevy as they rebuild youth baseball fields across the country. Go to ChevyBaseball.com to enter for a chance for your community to win a youth field makeover.
Thanks, Ken. With 1 out, nobody on, 2 runs home. The batter is Middlebrooks, who shot 1 out into right center his last time up, took a ball. Breaking ball, he lays off, and the count 2-0. With 1 out, nobody on, that is a called strike, 2-1. Ken Rosenthal is with us tonight, and we've heard from him a couple of times already. That's foul. How do you think this plays out, Ken, with Youkilis on his way back when the team gets to Baltimore this week?
Joe, it's a fascinating question. The Red Sox GM Ben Cherington has said that Youkilis would not lose his job due to an injury, and Middlebrooks had cooled off, gone 7 for 40, as you mentioned, before the home run. But if he heats up over the next couple of days, the debate will flare anew. Now with Youkilis, the whole thing is he has to show that offensively and defensively and physically he is no longer in decline. He can reverse that. But if this kid keeps hitting, it's going to be quite an argument.
He's 2 for 3 tonight as he's on to continue the hit parade, and now Charlie Manuel comes out to the delight of fans here in Philadelphia. It looks like a pitching change is coming, and Blanton just did not have it tonight.
To address what Ken was talking about, I think the Red Sox owe it to Kevin Youkilis to give him the job and to do something with Will Middlebrooks. I mean, he's only played 15 games in the big leagues. Kevin Youkilis, on the other hand, has 6 years of success.
Blanton is gone. Valdez coming in with the Red Sox on top by 3. Raul Valdez is the left-hander taking over for Blanton, and a check on the runner at first. That's Middlebrooks. The hit by Middlebrooks was the 9th of the night for the Red Sox. Into the second game for Valdez since he was called up. He's bounced around in his professional career. Dealing with Saltalamacchia, who pops it straight up out behind second base. Victorino comes in for out number 2. We talked about Blanton being frustrated with a home plate umpire tonight, and there's evidence to suggest that that was the case, as he was yelling at home plate umpire Gary Darling on his way off the field, and then when he got to the dugout.
Well, if you're in a court of law, I think you'd side with Gary Darling. I mean, Joe Blanton gave up 4 home runs and 9 hits, and is on the losing end of this ball game. And while some of the pitches may have been close, the home runs were not close to not going out of the ballpark.
Here is a pitch inside for a ball to Ryan Sweeney. So a rare clunker out of the right-hander Joe Blanton. Here's a 1-0. Breaking ball has the left-handed hitting Sweeney flinching at the plate. Strike 1. Last night a 6-4 win for Philadelphia. Hamels got his 6th straight win. Home runs from Galvis and Pence. And Daniel Bard, the young right-hander, suffered the loss. He's now 3-5 on the year, and he has issued 15 walks and struck out only 7 over his last 4 starts.
Yeah, last night a perfect example of what not to do in the first inning. That 3-2 slider was down and in to Jimmy Rollins. The Phillies scored 4 runs and 1 going away. But a guy with Daniel Bard's fastball, you don't throw the leadoff hitter a 3-2 slider.
Counts 2-2 on Sweeney as that last pitch caught the outside corner. Ryan has reached base twice, once on an error by Blanton, the other time a double, and later a run scored. That drills the outside corner. The inning is over. And good quick work by Raul Valdez to end the top of the 5th. It is baseball night in America, and it's David Ortiz, Big Papi, with a home run to make it 7-4. Boston. Go further. Up above here in Philadelphia, our aerial coverage provided by DirecTV. We thank them for helping us out tonight as this game moves into the bottom of the 5th inning. 7-4, the Red Sox on top. They've popped 4 home runs, and it will be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for Philadelphia against John Lester. Mayberry first up. He is 1 for 2 on the night. Takes a strike. Almost came out of his shoes on his base hit the last time up on a pitch that he rocketed into left. 28-year-old outfielder first baseman waits for the 0-1. Big swing, strike 2.
John finally got a shot a couple of years ago. We did that game at Yankee Stadium. Actually, it was 3 years ago this June. First major league home run off Andy Pettitte. And how about Andy Pettitte last night for the Yankees? Shutout ball for 8 innings. They win the game 4-0. And is that a lift to New York?
Here's a fly ball foul on a play off to the right. He struck out 9.
Yeah. It's the Cincinnati Reds, a very good hitting team.
Cincinnati won today 6-5 at Yankee Stadium.
That was Andy Pettitte's only his second start last night.
There's some question as to whether Ivan Nova would make the start with the contusion and sprain in his right ankle after being hit by a batted ball his last time out. He got the ball and got the loss. Count 1-2 on Mayberry.
I just brought that up because I thought there would be a modicum of interest in Boston about the New York Yankees.
You think? Well, how about the whatever modicum means of interest in the AL East? I mean, that division looks, I know it looks different when you look at it in the newspaper with Baltimore on top, Toronto, New York, and Boston, the bottom 2 spots. But beyond that, I mean, the division, the feel of it has changed here in 2012.
Absolutely. Kind of remarkably quickly. I mean, we talked about Buck Showalter. I mean, and the Baltimore Orioles. Buck Showalter certainly got his footprint all over the Orioles. He's done a terrific job, as he usually does.
They've got a killer bullpen. They're pounding home runs. Adam Jones is turning into a major star. Here's a line drive, base hit up the middle. And the leadoff man is on for the Phillies here in the 5th. And Mayberry's been on base 3 times tonight. He's got now an 11-game hitting streak. He homered tonight, his 14th of the year. They've got the best road record in baseball. They've won 8 straight on the road. And they lead the major leagues with 63 home runs. That entire division, first of all, I think it's good for Boston that there's more parity there. I don't think anybody's going to run away with the division.
Very good point.
As the Red Sox desperately try to get healthy to get back after the top spots in the division. But Toronto's better. Tampa Bay, with all their pitching, is a tough team, obviously. The managing of Joe Madden. And then you've got the Yankees and the Red Sox, the bottom 2 spots, but it's early. And the Yankees and Red Sox both have some things to iron out here as we approach the middle part of the season. Good pitch down and in, and strike 2 on Victorino.
There was a guy watching in Miami, watching the current pace of the Baltimore Orioles, and it's Earl Weaver, who used to preach pitching and a 3-run home run is what wins ball games. He's loving the Orioles this year, and we're going to Miami tonight. Our air is going to Miami, and Earl Weaver is one happy guy watching the game with his wife Mariana tonight.
Here's a base hit into left off the bat of Victorino, and the first 2 are on, and the Phillies are getting better swings against Lester, who allowed 3 runs last inning. He's got 2 on, nobody out, leading by 3 here in the 5th right now.
We talked about this game coming into the park tonight, and we said if Lester gets a few runs, he'll win. Well, he's gotten 7, and not a surefire thing for John Lester after pitching the best game that he pitched last Monday against Seattle.
Here's Hunter Pence as the Red Sox get the case around the phone to the bullpen open. Bob McClure gets on it and places a call to the Red Sox pen, and they get to work. Tying run is at the plate for Philadelphia here in the 5th. Down and away, ball 1. Phillies leading home run hitter Hunter Pence with 10, tied for 4th most in the National League, is at the plate as Scott Atchison. A right-hander gets loose. That pen has been so good for the Red Sox during the month of May. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ruiz on deck. Right 2 guys are up there for Philadelphia here in the 5th, down 7-4. The 1-1 bounces in, smothered by Saltalamacchia, ball 2.
Again, you just can't say enough about the game so far that Saltalamacchia has played. A home run. I mean, the very fact that he's starting after being popped last night with 12 stitches in his left ear. Now he takes one right below the mast and almost hit him in the throat.
Here's 2-1 pitch. Double play ball to short. Aviles flips out. Pedroia turned it in the middle. Runner at 3rd, 2 down, as Pence bounces into a 6-4-3 double play.
That was a very good play by Pedroia. Watch how he has to reach up, left foot on the bag, throw off balance to get Pence. Very nice.
And now the runner at 3rd, 2 down for Ruiz, who has been hit by a pitch, scored a run, grounded out. And came in number 2 in the National League, hitting .371. Top hitter in the NL, David Wright, hitting .409 for the Mets.
Leading the majors in on-base percentage is David Wright.
The Mets are 3.5 out at the start of the day in the NL East, behind Atlanta. Runner at 3rd, 2 down. Ruiz watches one go into the dirt, and there's Saltalamacchia again. Ruiz has nailed down the number 5 spot in the lineup for Charlie Manuel.
Saltalamacchia doing his Bernie Perrant imitation tonight.
One ball, no strikes. Breaking ball drops in, 1-1. Wigginton on deck, but right now it's up to Ruiz to try and salvage something out of this 5th. And the Phillies put their first 2 on. Runner at 3rd, 2 out. The 1-1 pitch. Down and in, ball 2. Little shake of the head from Hunter Pence after the double play ball. A 2-1 pitch is fouled. 2-2. Phillies won 2 of 3 here last year from the Red Sox, but they've lost 17 of 25 to Boston since 2005. And interleague play has been dominated and won by the American League for 8 straight years. In head-to-head matchups, the American League has come out on top year after year. Over the last 8, here comes a 2-2 pitch. A swing and a miss. The strikeout ends the inning, and that'll do it for the first 5. Phillies put their first 2 on and come up empty. We roll into the 6th here in Philadelphia, 7-4 Boston. In his honor. It's called the McCarver Carver and has everything the stand sells on it and comes served in a catcher's helmet.
Attaboy, Bull.
And I don't know if you caught the end of that. You can hear more about what Greg Luzinski said about you as a teammate and going into the Hall of Fame by going to foxsports.com, I believe. There's Greg Luzinski, number 19.
World Championship ring from 1980 on his left ring finger.
That's in the dirt, and the count 1-1
Those were the days that the opposition was thinking, if a fight breaks out, don't mess with the Phillies because Bull is there.
They were thinking that in the early 90s, too.
Yeah.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. It's inside, and the count 2-1. Back to work is Valdez. He got a fly ball off the bat of Saltalamacchia, struck out Sweeney to end the top of the fifth when he took over for Blanton, who had allowed a 2-run shot and then his third hit of the inning, and he was done. Otherwise known as finished. Counts 3-1. Here's the 3-1. Full count. Valdez ready with another 3-2 pitch and a shot into left field, base hit. Nice play by Mayberry. Got a good jump on it, cuts it off, and Nava has got a leadoff single. By the way, if you want to hear more about what Greg Luzinski said, you go to Facebook.com, which, Tim, you're on night after night, /Fox Sports. You can hear his thoughts on the McCarver Carver, which basically is him dumping whatever is left over into that catcher's mask, helmet.
Sounds appetizing, huh? Ribs out of a mask.
And here is Lester, who takes strike one. The 0-1 pitch is outside, a ball and a strike.
One guy who's kept him guessing more than any other hitter has been John Lester. Bunt, swing away, bunt. Takes a strike.
And Ken Rosenthal is being fanatic.
Good friend of mine right here.
With his own bow tie.
He doesn't say much, but he looks good.
Looks good in a bow tie, and so do you, Kenny.
Thanks, Joe.
1 on, nobody out, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss. Lester is gone. And when you think they're going to swing away with Lester, he bunts. And when you think he's going to bunt, he swings away. 1 out in the inning.
It's been fun. Nothing predictable offensively from Lester tonight.
Aviles walks to the plate. Mike is 1 for 3. And he has homered, fouled out, and fly to center. Fastball in for a strike from Raul Valdez. Leadoff base hit by Nava. He's on base for the second time tonight. Also reached on an error back in the second. Luna holds against him in the count 1-1 on Aviles. With Pedroia on deck. Aviles hitting .275. Ready for a 1-1. Instead, a check on the runner, and Nava back easily. Here is a foul left side out of play. Now, it's not just the fanatic that's taking a shot at Ken Rosenthal today, by the way. Joe Madden, the manager of the Tampa Bay Rays, tweeted this earlier today. Our next themed road trip, the Ken Rosenthal /nerd road trip to Boston, bow ties included. How about that, Kenny?
Joe, I have to say I'm honored.
You should be. I think
absolutely.
So the whole team will get on their charter flight wearing bow ties in your honor. Here's a fly ball into right. Pence is back. And on the track, he has it 2 out. We're never far away from Twitter. It just feels so good. Tonight's game is sponsored by DirecTV. You call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. And by Jaguar. See the new model year lineup at your local Jaguar retailer. Kenny's been busy down there. He's giving reports. He has great notes tonight, which we're trying to file our way through point by point, inning by inning. And it's been with the military earlier, the fanatic. Joe Madden is tweeting about him. It's like a Kardashian. Pitches high to Pedroia, ball 1. Fouled back by Pedroia, 1-1.
A couple of weeks ago, I think Ken told us that this year was the first time he learned how to tie a bow tie.
Well, who was helping last year?
I don't know.
Is that true, Ken?
No, I was tying them last year, but I was having a lot of trouble.
Oh.
And what I was talking about was that this year I seem to be getting better at it. Not great, but better.
For a while, wasn't Lincecum wearing bow ties in your honor out in San Francisco?
Yes, and I talked with him about that earlier this season, and I asked him if he was still wearing them, and he said no. And not only that, I'm not wearing any ties anymore.
Yeah, it just seems to fit Tim a little better than a bow tie.
Yeah.
1 on, 2 out, 1 ball, 1 strike on Pedroia. That is outside, 2-1. And Valdez and his pace allowed us to delve into matters we never expected when we showed up to the ballpark here in Philadelphia 6 hours ago. The count 2-1. And a foul makes it 2-2. Phillies in the bottom of the 6th inning will have the bottom part. That means Wigginton, Luna, and Galvis. They've done some damage tonight, Luna and Galvis, and if anybody gets on the pitcher spot. 3-run game, top of the 6th. Game 2 of a 3-game set with Beckett and Cliff Lee going tomorrow. Here's the 2-2. Ground ball to the left of Rollins. The flip, a nice play for the out, and that ends the top of the 6th. Pedroia retired for the 3rd time tonight. Bottom half rolls in. Bottom of the order coming up. Ken and his new friend with a sparkly microphone. The Fanatic, 7-4 Boston.
Good to be Greek. Back to 2 non-Greeks, Kenny and Tom. Okay. and Astros. Houston down a run in the home fifth, but Justin Maxwell turns around Derek Holland, and the Astros have a one-run lead in the middle innings. Orioles and Nationals say the battle of the Beltway is suddenly more relevant now than ever. Birds got off to a 6-0 lead, but here come the Nats. They're into the bullpen of the Birds as we send you back to Joe and Tim.
All right, Matt, so the Orioles out in front 6-2. Washington has slipped behind Atlanta in the NL East. Baltimore has a 2-game lead over Tampa Bay at the start of the day. Toronto 4 out. The Yankees 4.5 out. They lost today, so they're 5 out at the moment. Then Boston. Red Sox leading here by 3 as we play in the bottom of the 6th. Batter is Wigginton, and the count evens at a ball and a strike. Ty is one of just 3 players in the history of Major League Baseball to go deep at 4 different positions 15 or more games. Wigginton didn't like that call. At left field, first base, second base, third base, Greg Jeffries, who came up with the Mets, played here in Philadelphia toward the tail end of his career as a lefty. Savory gets loose, and Jackie Robinson are the other 2. He hit 15 or more home runs while playing left field and all over the infield, first, second, and third base.
And Ty has done it with many teams. His 7th major league team of the Phillies.
Counts 2-2. Lester ready with another, and that's on the outside corner, 1 away. That's strikeout number 3 on the night for John Lester. Our Jeep game summary: the Red Sox 4 home runs, 4th time this season they've hit 4 or more. Blanton allowed 4 for the first time in his career in a start. And 7 of the game's 16 hits have gone for extra bases. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th, and here comes Hector Luna. With 1 out, strike 1. Lester right now has the best active winning percentage for his career among big league pitchers. He's at .691, and he leads here. Middlebrooks plays it off to the side and can't get the out. It's a base hit for Luna, his 2nd of the night. And Middlebrooks could not get Luna hustling down the line.
Hector smelling a base hit, running hard to first base. And that play by Middlebrooks, where he had to go to his left and kind of coddle the ball. A little bad hop right there. And by the time he set his feet, Luna had an infield hit.
So 1 on 1 out. The batter is Galvis, with Orr again standing in the on deck circle to hit for Valdez. This time he was there to hit for Blanton the last time the pitcher's spot came up. Strike 1. And Galvis surprised to hear strike 1. And the Phillies are really frustrated with the strike zone tonight.
Joe Blanton, the starter, and several of the Phillies hitters. Freddie thought that ball was outside or low. It may have been.
Either way, he gets a base hit on the next pitch, and it's 2 on with 1 out. And the bottom of the order, which produced 3 runs in the 4th inning, now has produced 2 on with 1 out, or is called back. And Placido Polanco, who's been bothered by a left knee bruise on a ball he hit off that knee on Thursday, will walk to the plate representing the tying run.
And he also represents the only right-handed Philly hitter on the night who could be used as a pinch hitter. The Phillies have 4 left-handers on the bench and 1 right-hander, and here's the right-hander, and a good one.
Got his 2,000th hit. Wednesday's game, and that's the game where he fouled the ball off his left knee, and for his 2,000th hit he hit a home run. He bats with 2 on 1 out and chops 1 foul. Strike 1. Now Andrew Miller, the big left-hander, joins Atchison, who was up earlier for the Sox in their bullpen. Valdez did a nice job, and that's who is being pinch hit for right now here in the 6th. An inning and 2/3, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. And because of that foul ball that Polanco hit off his left knee, he's got that pad protecting it as best he can.
I don't think I've ever seen a pad on the left knee like the one being worn by Polanco.
Looks like it came in a set with the one that's on his left elbow. 2 on, 1 out. Phillies down by 3 here in the 6th. Fouled out of play, strike 2. Luna with a base hit, an infield hit, then Galvis, after falling behind in the count, gets his 2nd hit of the night. And that's got Bobby Valentine hands on hips and moving around in the Red Sox dugout. Here's the 0-2. Chopper to short. Polanco not running well. Out at second and out at first. The inning is over.
What a turn that was by Pedroia.
2nd time he's done that in this game. Aviles, a nice play. Pedroia in the middle. Double play ends the inning. 7-4 Boston. Back after this from your local Fox station. By Chevrolet. As we move into the 7th inning here in Philadelphia, and Joe Savory, a left-hander who came up, took the spot vacated by Vance Worley when he went on the disabled list with no structural damage but a tender right elbow. 24-year-old Vance Worley, who was 3rd in the Rookie of the Year voting last year, is on the DL. They don't expect it to be a long-term issue, and so Savory is one of 4 left-handers in the bullpen for Charlie Manuel. 2nd one he's called on tonight, and that pitch misses, ball 1.
Joe Savory, a 1st-round draft choice by the Phillies in 2007, was up for 4 games last year, and it'll be interesting to see if John Lester goes back out there.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. It's down and away, 2-0. Ortiz is 2 out of 3 tonight. He hit a monster home run into center his last time up. The 2-0. Down and away, 3-0 from Savory. Vicente Padilla, the right-hander, getting loose. That bullpen for Bobby Valentine has been outstanding from the last week of April on. In fact, they lead the big leagues in bullpen ERA since then. The last time we saw the Red Sox was in that crazy game at Fenway Park when the bullpen collapsed after a Dubront start in a game that was won by the Yankees 15-9. Here's a ground ball right side. That's the shortstop Rollins, who has a much shorter throw than usual. 1 out. Savory gets the lead man, and now we'll deal with Adrian Gonzalez. Gonzalez not in on the fun for the Red Sox tonight. He struck out twice and lined to center. Foul for strike 1. This Philadelphia club had won 6 straight coming into tonight, climbed to 2 games over 500 for the first time this year. Charlie Manuel feeling better about specific parts of this team. The bullpen's been a little better. The rotation you just expect to be good with the kind of talent Philadelphia has, and the lineup has come up with some big hits while they wait for Chase Utley and Ryan Howard to return to this lineup. Asking Charlie Manuel before the game if he has an idea as to whether Utley's ahead of Howard or the other way around. He said, I really don't know. Howard's down in Florida. Utley's at least with a ball club taking ground balls and batting practice, but then he has to go down to Florida and get in some games and get at bats. Gonzalez keeps the count 0-2. We showed you all at least some of the missing players for the Red Sox, but the total missed games, and for the Phillies they're missing Tomey, a bench piece, and then that good 3-4 combination in their lineup. Here's the 0-2. Drives Gonzalez off the plate, ball 1.
One of the more disturbing pictures of the 2011 season was after the Cardinals beat the Phillies in Game 5 of the first round of the playoffs, and Ryan Howard going down as the last hitter in that game, and going down because of a ruptured Achilles.
Savory makes the play. 2 out in the inning here in the 7th. Visit www.mlb.com/fan-guide to register for a chance to win a VIP experience for 2 to a 2012 MLB World Series game presented by Scott's, the official lawn care company of Major League Baseball. At the end of that 5-game series, which went all 5, in that good matchup of Carpenter and Halladay at the end.
Great game. Carpenter winning 1-0 for the Cardinals, who went on to win their 11th world title.
And it was the last out when Ryan Howard ruptured his Achilles tendon, and that's what he's been dealing with ever since that moment.
And as far as the Cardinals are concerned, it's amazing that they've done as well as they have this year without an effective Adam Wainwright, and Chris Carpenter hasn't even started a game for them.
Their lineup's been good. The problem for the Cardinals has been injuries already in that lineup, which is something that both these teams are dealing with. Alan Craig is back on the disabled list.
As Joe Madden said earlier last week, when Evan Longoria went down, he said there's no crying in baseball, and obviously he was right, as he is a lot of things.
Here comes a 2-2. Middlebrooks with a double hit like T.C. Chen that kept it in play, and the inning is over. If his bat doesn't hit it on his follow through, that ball gets away, but instead Ruiz makes a great play to end the inning. Coming up, Kate Upton. She's not coming to the booth, but we have video of her. This RXF Sports. So we welcome you back to Philadelphia, and up above is the DirecTV blimp. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. New pitcher is Vicente Padilla. It's up to the Boston bullpen now in just a 3-run game. They're the numbers this season for Padilla, but he's got an ERA just over 2 over his last 9 outings. That one drops low. Top of the order for the Phillies, Rollins, Mayberry, and Victorino. Down 7-4 here in the 7th. Rollins takes a strike. Jimmy is 0 for 3, and his average is down to 224. Trying to get something going for the Phillies is Jimmy Rollins, who is now up on the count 2-1.
Scouting report when Jimmy Rollins signed, grew up in Oakland, because he's only 5'8", but he plays a lot bigger. And has he ever proven that with the Phillies for the last 13 years?
Here's a 2-1 pitch. Rollins takes just high in the count 3-1.
Talk about a guy who's given the organization with which he signed everything throughout his career. That's Jimmy Rollins.
Up on the count here, 3-1. Here it is from Padilla, and a fly ball into center will be handled by Sweeney. Rollins an 0 for 4 night. Well, we showed you Kate Upton, and here she is. The MLB Fan Cave is back. Some of baseball's biggest stars are scheduled to visit and appear in the Fan Cave videos, like Kate Upton stopping by last week. Check out all the latest cave happenings at MLBFancave.com. Follow at MLB Fan Cave on Twitter, and like the MLB Fan Cave on Facebook. And I have a feeling those who may not have been inspired in the past when I've read that card might go online and maybe check out the MLB Fan Cave now.
Justin Verlander, is that you? I love that ad.
We were talking to Verlander about that.
Yeah.
When those two starred in an advertisement opposite each other leading into the baseball season.
Trying to sneak his way into the perfect room of baseball.
That's a strike from Padilla, and the count 1-1. Mayberry's 2 for 3, and he's been on base all 3 times. He has a pair of singles. He has a run scored. Padilla misses outside with a 95-mile-per-hour pitch, and now Padilla's behind on the count. This Boston bullpen picked up a guy, Mark Melanson, who had 20 saves last year for Houston. Got off to a terrible start. He's pitching at AAA in Pawtucket. He hasn't given up a run since he went down, but the bullpen's been so good they don't have any room to bring him up. No chance for Pedroia. And an infield hit and the 3rd straight single for Mayberry with 1 out here in the 7th. Here's Matt Vasgersian of the MLB Network studios for a game break.
Joe, Adam Dunn, he's going to walk, homer, or strike out. Here's his 13th home run to lead the White Sox. He leads the American League in walks, leads all of baseball in strikeouts with 60. The White Sox are on the verge of their 13th win in their last 15 tries against their neighbors from Wrigleyville. Joe and Tim, back to you guys in Philly.
Yeah, and it's good to see a good guy like Adam Dunn bounce back from what was a thoroughly frustrating season last year as the White Sox try to get to within a game of 500, and that AL Central's led by Cleveland. White Sox started the day 3.5 out. Here is Victorino and a ball outside.
When Kerry Wood walked off the mound and hugged his son at Wrigley Field, it was Adam Dunn who was in the batter's box. He put the bat between his legs and gave Kerry Wood a round of applause along with everybody else in Wrigleyville.
And baseball. It was a nice moment.
It really was.
Here's a strike to Victorino, 1-1, 1 on, 1 out. Shane has doubled homer run, singled. He's 2 out of 3. Just a 3-run game as we play here in the 7th. And almost like an Ephus pitch is looped into left for a base hit. A slow breaking ball, and Victorino waited long enough and just flipped it over the head of Middlebrooks. 2 on, 1 out.
I'll guarantee you somebody in the Philadelphia dugout is saying he hit it like you threw it. A looper and a looper. He hit it just like you threw it, right off the end of the bat. Victorino looking rather embarrassed initially, but he'll take it.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And now Hunter Pence, who was up with 2 on and nobody out his last time up. And his team down by 3, bounced into a double play. Now he represents the tying run here in the 7th. With a floating breaking ball, and Victorino waited long enough and just got it off the end of the bat. Here's Pence. Good fastball at 93 from Padilla with movement, strike 1. Pence has walked, fouled out on a nice catch by Adrian Gonzalez in right, and then bounced into that double play. A wide-eyed hitter. Chokes up on the bat and waits for the 0-1. That just missed down and away. Seven to 4 Red Sox.
I don't think I've ever seen a hitter with 10 home runs in mid-May choke up as much as Hunter Pence.
Here's a 1-1. Strike 2, 94 from Padilla.
Normally guys who choke up that much are singles hitters, not Pence.
What a game he had here on Tuesday when he hit a home run early in the game, had a gaffe in the 9th inning defensively to allow the Astros to tie it, and then won the game in the 10th with a home run. A 2-homer game, and he's got 10 on the year. Set up here at 1-2. And just got a piece. And then it got a piece of Gary Darling, the home plate umpire.
Right off the right shoulder. The umpires obviously have that chest protector below their shirt. But he was hit pretty hard. That ball caught him flush.
Another 1-2 from Padilla. With 2 on, 1 out. Nice play by Saltalamacchia at 2-2. Phillies won last night. They've trailed from the first on tonight. The 2-2. Fouled back.
Ooh, that was hittable. That was hittable right there. That was a mistake by Padilla right around the letters to a good high ball hitter. Ooh. Pence wishes he had that pitch back.
Padilla, a guy with 105 major league wins. Pitching out of the bullpen for the Red Sox this season. Ready with a 2-2. Struck him out, and he pulled the string on that breaking ball. Another slow delivery, and this time it's effective. 2 out in the inning.
We said earlier that Hunter Pence goes after a lot of bad balls. That pitch above the letters. And striking out.
And now Carlos Ruiz, who was hitless on the night, but started the night hitting .371, is at the plate
with 7 home runs.
He hit 6 all of last year. There's a slow breaking ball and a fly ball into right center. This ball is caught. Diving catch by Sweeney. And that saves 2 runs, and who knows how much more. Ryan Sweeney is playing center field because no one else is left. And he just took an extra base hit away and 2 RBIs away from Ruiz. Still 7-4 Boston after 7. As they come to the plate here in the 8th inning, and you can see all the hits. Gonzalez not in on it, 0 for 4, but 4 home runs tonight, popped by the Boston Red Sox. Here's a shot foul off the bat of Saltalamacchia. Home runs tonight by this guy at the plate, Middlebrooks, the rookie third baseman, Ortiz, and Aviles to start the night. Red Sox have led from that leadoff home run and have never trailed in this game. 7-4 8th inning, in the pitch from the left-hander Sabry's up and away, a ball and a strike. Joe, the third pitcher of the night. Valdez, nice work. Blanton in 4 1/3, 7 runs, 6 earned on 9 hits. A 1-1. Strike 2. How about that catch by Ryan Sweeney to end the 7th inning?
It's an easier play for a guy with the glove on the left hand, but Sweeney had to cross his body, being a left-handed thrower, and dive to make the play. Didn't know that ball would have that much hang time in right center field, hit by a right-handed hitter, Ruiz.
That's out of play, still 1-2. Talk about the players on the disabled list for Boston. They've had 5 outfielders go on the DL. The latest one, Darnell McDonald, that had Kalish on there. Crawford, obviously, from the beginning. Jason Repko, who has a bad shoulder, and the same for Jacoby Ellsbury. A couple guys on that list that can play center field. Sweeney getting the chance to now. Ross, by the way. Cody Ross fouled a ball off his left foot, went to the hospital for x-rays. It showed no break. But he is extremely sore tonight and is, for the most part, unavailable for Boston off their bench. Here's a 2-2. Here's a shot into left center field. Saltalamacchia swinging the bat well. One hop off the wall, bobbled by Victorino, but it's a double to start this 8th inning for the switch hitting catcher. And he has earned some McCarver points here tonight with his game coming off the injury last night.
I would imagine if Salty was honest with you right now, considering the circumstances, with 12 stitches in his left ear, he may say that this is his best performance of any game in the major leagues.
He's homered tonight. He's singled. He's doubled. He's been very good behind the plate, blocking balls in the dirt. And here's the guy who made the catch in right center moments ago, Ryan Sweeney. Bunting to move the runner to third. Sabry makes the play, and Saltalamacchia is at third with 1 out on the sacrifice by Sweeney. Here's the catch in right center field that saved at least 2. And Adrian Gonzalez, who is playing right field tonight, was right there to help Sweeney back to his feet and congratulates him twice. Ken Rosenthal, that was some catch out in right center field moments ago.
Catch, and as you saw, the Red Sox dugout was extremely excited, especially that new outfielder, Adrian Gonzalez. He came into the dugout screaming that the new look Red Sox outfield has things locked down.
Well, he made a good catch, a sliding catch in right earlier in the game, and he doesn't look phased at all. I think Sweeney is still trying to stretch out his neck after that catch in right center. It's the last thing the Red Sox need, is for him to be banged up after that brilliant catch to end the 7th.
Being looked at by the trainer as Jose Contreras is up and throwing with the infield in for the Phillies.
And the batter is the switch hitting Nava, who takes high, ball 1. Daniel tonight has a hit. He's also reached on an error, has 1 RBI. And his on base percentage was .528 at the start of the night, hitting .360. Marlon Byrd is in the on deck circle. That squirts away from Ruiz, but Saltalamacchia stays put. And it counts 2-0.
Sometimes if you're the runner at third base and the ball squirts to the right of the catcher, you can't tell how far he bounces away from it, and you really have no help. You've got to have an early jump. Otherwise, you leave it up to Nava.
Now Byrd has been replaced in the on deck circle by Gomez. A guy who had big numbers at AAA Pawtucket and was added during this past week is loosening up in the on-deck circle with the infield in, 1 out, and a 2-0 count on the number 8 hitter Daniel Nava. That's strike 1. When we talked to Nava about changing his number, 66, he said, "You can't believe what people yell at me out in the outfield when we're on the road with this number on my back." But again, he said they're not really taking suggestions from me as to what number I should wear here in the big leagues. And he's just happy to have anything. A guy who wasn't on the roster and not invited to spring training, Bobby Valentine, had never really seen him before he was called up. That's up and away. Ball 3 is the right-hander Matt Albers gets loose for Boston in their pen.
Nava's number 66 might be fine and well for Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Maybe a pulling guard, but as a left fielder, it's not their favorite.
Here's a 3-1 to the shortstop. Rollins pops up, comes to the plate. What a play! He got him at the plate, and Rollins could not have done any more. Brilliant play by Jimmy Rollins, 2 out.
And Carlos Ruiz. But from his knee, a strike to Ruiz, who blocks the plate against his counterpart. The right knee and the left leg of Ruiz for the out.
And Jimmy Rollins, who has had a hitless night at the plate, certainly hasn't carried that out to the field. What a play. And it was really the only play he had. He had no shot at the runner at first.
That's true. I said his right knee. He was actually on both knees when he threw home.
So Nava's on the fielder's choice, and Padilla will come to the plate and hit. And fly one into center field. Well hit. Back is Victorino. He'll catch up to it, and the inning is over. So a leadoff double, and the Red Sox cannot add to their lead. Bottom of the 8th inning in Philadelphia. Still 7-4 Boston. MasterCard. Shop and pay your bills online with MasterCard prepaid cards. Glad you're with us on a Saturday night. And Jimmy Rollins gets congratulations from Joe Sabry, the left-hander, and everybody in that dugout for that play he made to his right, throwing from his knees to cut down the runner, Saltalamacchia, at the plate in the top of this 8th to keep it a 3-run game. So Padilla goes back to work. The batter is Wigginton, and he takes a strike. Ty is 0 for 3. Luna will follow, and then Galvis. That's just up and away, a ball and a strike. And the left-hander, who has reinvented himself with more of a sidearm type delivery, Rich Hill, and he's worked his way back from surgery. Part of that good Red Sox bullpen is getting loose. Here comes a 1-1 from Padilla. Late swing and a foul. Vicente pitched around 2 hits thanks to that diving catch out in right center field by Sweeney last inning.
If Bobby Valentine said anything to Vicente Padilla, it was probably, don't throw that looping curveball again. Victorino flared it over third, and that's the ball that Ruiz hit to right center that Sweeney had to bail Padilla out with.
Here's a chopper to third. Going to be a tough play. No play for Middlebrooks, and an infield single starts the bottom of the 8th inning off the bat of Ty Wigginton. Baseball night in America continues next Saturday night at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. There are the matchups. The Rays and the Red Sox. Phillies in St. Louis. The Angels, Mariners, Cubs, and Pirates. Or the Rockies and the Reds. Check local listings for the game and start time in your area. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific next Saturday night. And now with Luna at the plate, Padilla continues. Rich Hill, the left-hander in the bullpen. It's an all left-handed bench now for Charlie Manuel. That's why Hill's getting loose out there. And a strike is in at the knees to Luna, who's 2 for 3.
Mike Fontenot, Brian Schneider, Juan Pierre, and Pete Orr, all left-handed batters for Charlie Manuel.
There's Fontenot. We've seen Orr in the on-deck circle twice, and he has yet to hit. Here's another hit for Hector Luna. And Wigginton will hold at second. It's 2 on, nobody out, and the Phillies will not go quietly here in the late innings. And Valentine's wondering how much longer he'll stick with Padilla. The batter is Galvis.
Yeah, I think that's why he's sticking with Padilla here, because Galvis, who had hit 3 straight times as a right-hander and a 2-run home run as a right-hander, has to switch to the left side. That's why he's going with Padilla right now.
Juan Pierre in the on-deck circle. Lefty Rich Hill getting loose in the bullpen, and there's that floater that misses for ball 1, and that's got you shaking your head over here.
Evidently, Bobby did not say anything to Padilla about this pitch. This pitch should be barred from baseball. And I'm only kidding, but that thing's, there's no deception with that thing.
Here's the 1-0.
Tell you, that pitch is so slow, it does not register on our radar gun. It's like hitting it off a tee.
The count 2-0 on Galvis. A lot of hits the last 4 innings. No runs for Philadelphia. There it is again, and it misses up and in. It's one thing, I guess, is a once in an outing.
I mean, 2-0? You're going to throw a 2-0 curveball to Freddie Galvis, representing the tying run? I mean, you're trained to throw the best stuff, particularly in late innings. A 2-0 floater that misses. I don't understand that.
55. We have to go to the scoreboard here at Citizens Bank Park. Here's the 3-0 on the inside corner, and that's from a guy who's got good live stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he can pop his fastball.
Galvis has homered tonight and last night, both times batting right-handed. Padilla. Fly ball into center. That'll send Sweeney back. Both runners go back to the bag. Tagging going to third is Wigginton. Tagging going to second with good base running is Luna. And it's second and third, only one out here in the eighth.
Boy, that is an alert play by Luna. It's automatic that Wigginton is going to go to third base. But Sweeney catches that ball back on his heels, forced to because the ball was hit deeply. And Luna takes advantage of it and goes to second.
And that appears to be it for Padilla. So that pitch will be shelved for the rest of the night. 2 hits for the Phillies in the 5th. They didn't get a run. 2 hits for the Phillies in the 6th. Didn't get a run. Same last inning, trying to not repeat here in the 8th. They'll have runners at second and third, 1 out. Rich Hill takes over. Pierre announces the pinch hitter. Action in Philly in the 8th when we come back. Have had a ton of action. 23 hits, 3 errors, 11 runs. Boston has 7 of those runs, but Philadelphia has 2 on, 1 out. And Rich Hill, who has worked his way back from surgery to the big league club, is into his 10th game. And he will deal with Juan Pierre, second and third, 1 out here in the 8th.
Tommy John surgery only 10 months ago, and he's back at him. Remarkable recovery by Rich Hill.
Pierre takes a strike over the outside corner. Juan Pierre, a guy who wasn't signed until January 27th. So he came to the team late, but he's been one of the more consistent Philly hitters so far this season. Good on base percentage, and he can still run. In at the corners on the infield as Pierre grounds one to Ortiz. Out at first for out number 2, and Hill gets a big second out with Jimmy Rollins coming up. So Pierre can't get the job done. And again, the Phillies have had 2 hits in each of the last 4 innings, including this one, and they do not have any runs. And Bobby Valentine is going to go to the right-hander with Rollins coming up.
Rich Hill had held left-handed batters throughout his career to a 203 average, and he comes in and gets a big one in Juan Pierre.
So he does his job, and now Aceves, I believe the closer, is coming out of the bullpen. It was Albers up earlier, but it's Alfredo Aceves, the closer for Boston, coming in. Try to be a 4-out night for the right-hander 3-run game. Second and third. Rollins coming up here in the 8th in Philadelphia. MLB on Fox Season. Fox Sports is proud to support Boys and Girls Clubs of America, a place where youth can reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. To learn more, please visit greatfutures.org/Fox Sports. Now it's Aceves, who is the 4th pitcher of the night for the Red Sox. And the Phillies are 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position tonight. This inning, and maybe this game for that matter, comes down to Jimmy Rollins, who made that sparkling defensive play in the top of this inning. Second and third, 2 out. Big at bat for Philadelphia. Rollins has driven in only 6 all year. Strike 1 from Aceves.
Aceves has been called upon once again to get a 4-out save. His first one was on Thursday night in Tampa Bay.
He is 6 for his last 6 in save chances with an ERA of 1.29. Ball 1 down and in. Andrew Bailey got a good report on that reconstructed ligament in his thumb, and he is going to start throwing next week, and they hope to get him back around the All-Star break. He's the closer the Red Sox got from the A's during the offseason. But it's been Aceves' job since the beginning of the year, and Alfredo steps off. Jose Contreras on the left, and just in case something big breaks out, Papelbon on the right. Strike 2 on Jimmy Rollins with a swing and a miss.
That's the thing about Aceves. He is so unpredictable. He'll throw that breaking ball in any count. That's a beauty right there. There are a lot of ways that Aceves can get hitters out. That's why he's a stopper for the Red Sox.
You can see the turnaround this season for Alfredo already. Rollins just spoiled it. 95-mile-per-hour pitch, and Jimmy just got a piece. Now Aceves steps off. Rollins, who was the 2007 NL MVP, 3-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glove Award winner, trying to get a big hit for Philadelphia here in the 8th. Count even, 2-2. Red Sox trying to win a game. John Lester started. The next to Rollins is just up and away, a full count. On deck is Mayberry, who has 3 hits tonight.
No assurity Jimmy Rollins will get a fastball to hit here. The thing about Aceves, once again, he'll throw any pitch on any count.
Rollins out in front of it. A 3-2 breaking ball from Aceves. It's still full. Runner at third is Wigginton. He led off with an infield hit. Then Luna bounced a base hit up the middle. First and second, nobody out. Now second and third, 2 out. 3-2 pitch. Broken bat, ground ball, tough play as Aviles has to circle it. Safe, and a run scores.
Was not hit hard enough, and there's no play at third because Middlebrooks went after the ball. Otherwise, there would have been a play at third base. But Aviles has to go the long way to try to get a faster runner, and Rollins and couldn't come up with it.
And a good call by Paul Elmo, the first base umpire. He was safe, and now the tying run is at first, and John Mayberry digs in. With a 3-hit night, he's been on base 4 times tonight. He's hit 1 home run this season, and he represents the go-ahead run. Way high from Aceves, ball 1. Now it's Luna at third and Jimmy Rollins at first. Ball 2. Alex Ochoa is positioning the outfield and trying to get the attention of Sweeney in center or Nava in left.
Trying to move him back on a night where the ball is carrying so well. The one thing about Luna going to third base, that opens up second base for a possible steal by Jimmy Rollins.
He represents the tying run at first, 2 out.
Rollins has stolen 8 of 9 on the year.
There he goes. Pitch in the dirt. Stolen base for Rollins, and now a base hit could tie it.
And another fine play by Saltalamacchia, who's been all over the place behind the plate tonight and at the plate, I might add. Breaking ball saves at least 1 run.
Counts 3-0 with Victorino on deck. Luna at third, Rollins the tying run at second. That'll load him up. And it's up to Victorino with the bases loaded, 2 out in the 8th. He's had a nice night. He could have a huge night with something here in the 8th. Aceves called on early. Remember, Hill was taken out. That switched Rollins to the other side of the batter's box. Batting left-handed, he got the infield hit to score a run. Now Victorino pops it up. Left side, Middlebrooks out, so is Aviles, and the shortstop has it. The inning is over. First pitch swinging, Victorino pops up. And throughout all that, the Phillies get just 1. 7-5 after 8 in Philadelphia. but they've stranded 10. They're now 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position in this game, and Jose Contreras takes over as we go to the 9th inning. Top of the lineup for Boston, Mike Aviles, the shortstop, will lead it off. Then Pedroia and Ortiz against Contreras. 7-5 game now, 9th inning, and Contreras watches one go down into the corner, foul, strike one.
Contreras, with elbow surgery this past offseason, was not activated until April 16th. And a look at the Phillies bullpen, which has done tonight probably the best job that they've done in a long time.
Yeah, part of our game summary in the night for Saltalamacchia, who has 3 hits, including a solo home run. Mayberry, a good night on the other side. There's another foul. And Aviles in the hole 0-2. Now the hard-throwing left-hander, Jake Diekman, is getting loose. With the left-handed bats back-to-back of Ortiz and Gonzalez potentially hitting here in the 9th. There's a strikeout to start the 9th for Contreras. And it's time for tonight's Burger King Smooth Plays of the game. That new look outfield with Adrian Gonzalez. A sliding catch down the right field line, and then Ryan Sweeney saved at least 2 with a diving catch he made to Rob Ruiz in the 7th. And the batter is Pedroia. That one rides up and in. The Phillies are looking for another right-hander potentially in their bullpen. These are 2 teams that are on the list of clubs potentially interested in the services of Roy Oswalt, who is following the lead of Roger Clemens of years gone by, and even Andy Pettitte this year with the Yankees, as Pedroia grounds out, saying, I'll just come see you around June and pick my spot and see who's playing well or who needs me. Ken Rosenthal is with us. Where do you see Roy Oswalt ending up as we get toward June this season?
It's tough to say, Joe, because I don't know the entire field. We know that he has thrown for the Red Sox, for the Phillies, for the Texas Rangers. He is scheduled to throw for one more team next week. There may be others involved. The Yankees are not in at this point. The Tigers are not in. His preference has been either Texas or St. Louis, but those opportunities might not be available.
I would think that Texas would have the least need for a guy like Oswalt. The way their starting staff has pitched thus far this year.
And Darvish has been as good as they could have ever hoped for. First pitch is a ball to David Ortiz. He's homered tonight. Now ball 2. Up and away. Ortiz is singled, hit a 2-run home run. He's 2 for 4. And now the left side of the infield is virtually wide open for Ortiz, who takes a strike from Contreras. But he's looking to rip one out of this park and add to a 2-run lead.
That's a major league shift right there.
He could bunt for a double.
He could. Push it toward third and run all day.
Here's a 2-1 pitch. Shoots one foul left side. 2-2. The Phillies in the bottom of this 9th inning in what is now a 2-run game. We'll have Hunter Pence, who's had a frustrating night at the plate. Ruiz, who has as well. And Wigginton. The 2-2. Reaching for it, and that play is made by Luna to end the top of the 9th. The perfect frame put together by Jose Contreras. And the late Donna Summer, Boston's own, takes us to break as we go to the bottom of the 9th. to work. You see in the background Adrian Gonzalez, one of the best in the business now from right to first. Marlon Byrd off the bench into center, and Ryan Sweeney from center to right.
That makes so much sense, particularly in lieu of the fact that David Ortiz made the last out in the 9th inning.
That will be Bird's spot in the lineup if you get back around to it. But right now it's up to Aceves to save it for John Lester. Hunter Pence is first up, and Saltalamacchia pops up from behind home plate and slows it down.
Hunter Pence has been known to lay down a bunt in this situation with the Phillies trailing by 2.
And he shows it, pushes it, right side, and Aceves can't make the play. You called it, and Aceves could not get to it. Glove it and flip it. Leadoff man is on.
And too much to do to get the speedy Hunter Pence. And a base hit. A bunt base hit brings up the potential tying run for the Phillies.
So you've got the team's leading home run hitter, Hunter Pence, who can run, and he showed it there, bunting to start the inning. And it hasn't been a problem for Philly to get runners on. It's been a problem for them to bring them home. Here's Ruiz, who is hitless on the night. Bottom of the 9th, 7-5 game. Aceves allowed one inherited runner to score last inning. Strike one. Came at him with a 93-mile-per-hour fastball. Ruiz with 7 home runs. Represents the tying run at the plate. And this will not be an easy one tonight for Aceves. They rarely are. Hard hit, line drive, and that'll be a double play. 2 out, nobody on, and that makes this 9th inning look a lot different as Pence was on the move, and he's doubled off the bag.
Yeah, if you're Hunter Pence, you don't know whether Aviles is going to make the short hop catch to where you have to get to second base, but he caught it in the air to double off Pence. 2 pitches, 2 outs here in the 9th inning. And 2 huge outs for the Red Sox. You can see second base umpire Scott Barry calling that a catch. And Pence was dead at first.
And now Wigginton with 2 out, nobody on, takes a breaking ball for a strike, and Aceves is 1 out away. 6 for his last 6 in save chances, trying to get 4 outs tonight. He misses up and in, 1-1. Wigginton had an infield hit last inning in the 8th. Red Sox trying to set up the rubber game tomorrow with Josh Beckett and Cliff Lee. This game lives on. A base hit into center off the bat of Wigginton. And again, the tying run will come to the plate as Hector Luna will walk from the on-deck circle. He is 3 for 4 with 3 straight singles, an RBI, and a run scored.
Will Middlebrooks on the line at third base to prevent a double if Luna pulls it.
And play behind Wigginton at first. Luna takes a ball in the dirt. Luna's only home run with the Phillies was the grand slam he hit this week at Wrigley. On deck is the switch hitting rookie Freddie Galvis. 2 more hits in the inning, and the Phillies have out hit the Red Sox 15-11. The trail by 2. Here is a 1-0. Breaking ball has Luna flinching at the plate, strike 1.
It's almost a knuckle curve that Aceves throws.
Alfredo looking for save number 9, trying to end a 6-game winning streak for the Phillies. Flare down the right field line is foul, and now the Phillies are down to their final strike. And that's the advantage of a guy like Aceves, who seemingly can take the ball in any role, any day on a major league staff. Valuable guy to have. The Red Sox have him. He's their closer. 1-2 pitch. Struck him out, and the Red Sox win it 7-5. Lester gets the win. He's 3-3. Blanton suffers the loss. He's 4-4. Save number 9 for Aceves. The guys in the MLB Network studios will be along on the other side of the break. For Tim and Ken, I'm Joe. 7-5. Boston wins it here in Philadelphia. Good night.